Would you kill for your favorite artist? No? Well, it sounds like I'm surrounded by normal people, thank God. But wait, I have a follow-up question. Would you rob a bank if your fave asked you to? Oh, you wouldn't do that? You have moral high ground? You would never? Then tell me, why are we making millionaires billionaires and filling our landfills in the process? Hey neighbor, welcome back to the Think Tank. My name is John, and this is a show where I take something that's been on my mind in the world of music, and then I turn it into a video discussion. Today's topic obviously being that of waste in the music industry. They say no one buys albums anymore, but I think that most of us are aware of the vinyl resurgence and comeback. It's been huge for over a decade and only keeps getting bigger. In fact, they passed CD sales for the first time and overall revenue for the first time since what, like the late 80s? You can't say that people don't buy albums anymore because it's simply not true, but the way we consume music is absolutely night and day different. I think most physical sales these days, according to sources like Hits Daily Double and Billboard, seem to be through fandoms, through packaging, through people buying up multiple variants of an album so it'll debut higher on the charts. What I was getting at with my making millionaires billionaires comment is that so many younger fans in particular, although it's also skewing older, and I know plenty of older people that have done this for whatever reason, they want to support their favorite artist, so instead of just buying a copy of it and streaming it on Spotify, whatever, like a normal person would do, they feel this incessant need to maybe spend that last portion of their paycheck just to buy another vinyl variant or the cassette that they're never gonna spin. John, let people do what they want to do, spend the money they want to, buy the things they want to, and I'm not here to jump inside your dream like Freddy Krueger and steal all the good. That's not what I want to do, and I'm also not here to make you feel bad for buying physical products, because God knows I am the furthest thing from like the #1 eco-friendly person on God's green earth. Many of you have seen my pretty extensive vinyl collection and a CD collection as well, things that I'm proud of, but something has changed in the past decade with the rise of stan culture, fandom culture, however you want to label it. The way that these people interact and show their love is by obsessively either streaming or purchasing something in order to gain the charts or again, make themselves feel like a part of something bigger than them. Not too long ago, I watched Michelle Khare's video, I Tried Garbage Collecting. And it was pretty inspiring just to see what these people do, but it was also very disappointing because it's a reminder of how garbage human beings can be. Flat out, most of the time, I do not blame the consumer because there's this endless game now, especially with social media, where that Twinkie or that item is being dangled at the end of the treadmill and you have to keep running towards it and throwing money at it and you never get it. I feel like it's often the label, the management behind them that really pushes this thing, especially in the world of pop. K-pop is another huge one with the limited edition, collector's editions. Oh, you get different photos in this one, you have to buy the vinyl because it adds up to be a clock. That was cool for the 10 seconds I looked at it. Things were getting so bad with them aggressively marketing this shit that Billboard literally had to stop counting like these physical pre-orders that people were promising. Like 6ix9ine was dropping Trolls as a vinyl 7-inch single for no other reason other than to rack up some more sales to try and get that #1. What this is unintentionally become is expensive decorations lining your bookshelf in your apartment or home, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of you do get good mileage out of. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you own multiple copies of something, but I feel like it's become so normalized to be like, even for some of my favorite bands, I'll go on Reddit and you see like Paramore subreddit, everybody's like talking about how they've got 8 editions of the album, I've got to get all 11 variants or whatever it might be. Think about the amount of plastic, the amount of product, even if some of it is recycled, which there is an initiative, a push for that at this point. The K-pop industry is hopping on board and they're trying to go a little bit more eco-friendly, but the fact remains is that everything that they are pumping out, the sheer volume, I mean, think of BTS, Twice, 17, all of these insanely popular K-pop groups that are larger than life. If you think about the amount of people that are clamoring for merchandise and then you show them like 18 different versions of something, they're going to buy it all. It's going to sit there, and eventually, if they've moved on from it, they move to a different place, or they simply don't feel the need for it, it either ends up recycled at Goodwill somewhere, or God forbid, on the side of the road. I hate that kind of excess. It's so unnecessary. It preys on vulnerable, lonely people, and it markets to them aggressively, and it becomes the overfilling landfill, Taylor's version. Social media platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram have made it feel like the artist is right there in your bedroom. And that's an exciting feeling, but it's also a scary one because people start to lose the line between reality and fiction. Do you remember that scene in the movie Her? It felt like it was ahead of its time, where he started to realize that the AI was talking to all of these other people. I'm sorry to burst the bubble, but you're not special just because you helped propel something all the way up the charts by buying so many copies, and then unintentionally in return, just kind of starting to harm the planet with the fact that so much waste is happening, so much excess. And again, it's not a one person or a one label, a one artist problem, but we can be a bigger part of the solution. And it really just kind of bothers me because even though fandom has been around for a long time, I think of bands like Duran Duran back in the 80s. It's existed. Beatlemania, that was the 60s. The craze has been there, but the difference now is that people want to buy up everything that these people offer because there's a lot of loneliness in our world. And I'm not saying that that's our fault as humans. It's the people that prey on us, the people, the billionaires above us that are saying, pull the string. Yes, send them an ad to buy this because they absolutely need this Funko Pop vinyl that they already have 20 of. I sat down and watched some of this show that Donald Glover helped create. It's called Swarm, and there's obviously parallels drawn directly between like Beyonce and the Beehive and what people will do, the links that they feel compelled to go to on behalf of an artist, and it's terrifying. It's definitely something that's completely out of control. It's a societal problem at large, and it's only gasoline on the fire thanks to the likes of TikTok. To tie it all back together, I do think that physical sales are an important boost that can definitely be a good thing, especially for a small artist, but whether it be Harry Styles, Twice, BTS, Taylor Swift, you do not need 5 copies of an album. It's something that is just wasteful. It's not going to benefit you. It doesn't benefit the artist other than inflating their probably already big enough ego. And trust me, they can take the hit, especially if they're well on their way to becoming billionaires. I hope that this made some sense and that you can understand where I'm coming from. Again, I would be a total and complete hypocrite if I was out here saying, like, don't buy physical products. That's not what I am saying at all. There's just better ways to do this. These companies can do a better job at going green. And when companies even like K-pop ones say like, oh, we're gonna do something, we're gonna start going like 5% using more and more materials to make the packaging for these albums, I trust that about as much as I trust Jeff Bezos to take me along with him when he goes to Mars. So I'm just saying, we can try a little bit harder.